All right, welcome back to beautiful Budapest, Hungary, where we're going to do episode 2 of SPR. I'm Toby Madigan, and I'm here again with my friend, Gyurgy.
Nice pronunciation.
Who made it back safely from Transylvania, which I guess is fairly rare to be able to make it through the mountains without any injuries.
It's really fierce there, yes.
You were saying there's lots of bears, right?
There are.
You were talking about the actual animal, not the stereotypical overweight man with hairy belly.
I think we can talk about both, but...
So, since this is episode 2, we really want to make this as interactive as possible. We're going to go over some comments that we got from our last extremely successful episode. Our goal was to get 3 viewers, and we exceeded that by a lot.
Yeah, nice job.
We're doing really well.
You should animate the chimes of
We've gone at least, 3 to 4 times our goal already. So
yeah.
Our goal now is to actually get 10 views for this video.
We're gonna be totally chill now, because we do it all.
We've already surpassed our highest
no
expectations. So what are some of the comments?
Yeah, there's one who says, it's from, okay, let's go with this. Jenny J. Smith.
Jenny J. Smith, I'd love for you to talk about homophobia. Since you are a Christian, I'm not actually sure where she got that, but
Maybe because you're American.
Right, or maybe because you're Hungarian. I'm not saying one way or the other really, but there was no part in there where we said we were necessarily Christian. But anyway, since you are a Christian, I wonder whether this makes you homophobic. Because I'm not laughing at you. We're not laughing at you, Janie. It's just...
I'm just laughing like you're gay and you're homophobic at the same time. It's like such a struggle.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. I wonder whether it makes you homophobic because Christians I know are, because the Bible says quite a few things that are homophobic, discouraging for lesbians. It's a touchy topic, but would probably really help a lot of people if you did. Well, that's something that I really plan to continue this show, and I'm gay, but I didn't say it in the first video because, I don't know, I guess it's just not something I start with.
Yeah.
But, so, I'm not very homophobic.
Neither I am.
And he's straight, but he's not very homophobic either. So, but I don't know, either, do you call yourself Christian?
No.
Yeah.
I'm George. Cheap stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a practicing Christian. I don't know I'm always very hesitant to use labels because I'm afraid that the label that I use is a different understanding of what the person uses. So if I say yes or no, then they have an understanding that might not actually be accurate.
There's no one yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, we will definitely talk about homophobia at some point, but...
Yeah. Okay, we'll bring it up later.
Well, maybe not even in this show because there was actually a specific part of the Bible that I wanted to talk about in an episode, and I think it'll run kind of long. So, guaranteed to talk about homophobia in the future and how the Bible could foster that, because I definitely agree with you that there are parts of the Bible that are very easy to use against gay people, and I think that's a problem. That's my opinion, but the show isn't just my opinion, it's about sources, it's about facts, it's about other people's opinions too, so I do want to talk about that at some point. What other comments do we have? I love you just show it, so I could go ahead, you read that one.
It's from Gian A. Yanez, if I'm right.
It looks like Jean Yanez, yeah.
Okay, sorry for the pronunciation. Love this video, Louise. So would quite like to see a video.
XX, that means kisses.
Yeah, it's like them.
Yeah.
We'll quite like to see a video on growing up boys, periods.
So she wants to talk about growing up boys and periods, and I don't know if she means those separately or together.
They are separated or-ish.
Yeah, like boys, as far as I know, no periods.
Yeah, but in my childhood, I used to have a fear of giving birth later. Such a pain it will be. And
yeah, we all had that. I had that too.
Really?
Well, I had this thing where I was like really grateful that I would never have to do that. You know, when you found out and then everyone was like, oh, it's so horrible having a baby. You're like, oh, I really never have to do that.
Yeah.
But I actually remember...
Then you got kicked in the balls.
Yeah.
Almost the same level of pain.
I don't know. And then I remember actually, I'm from a small town in northern Michigan. I specifically remember sometimes I wanted to do the things that the girls were doing. And they took all the girls out of the classroom one day and they took them to this special room to tell them about something. And they weren't allowed to talk about it with anyone else.
Oh, yeah, you're
and I was like, I wanted to go with them.
Yeah.
I wanted to go with my friend Celeste and to learn about these things. And I'm like, no, you don't get to learn about it. So I had to like ask around and see what it was. And it was basically talking about periods. So I'm not sure your age, Gene. I don't know if I personally have a lot to offer about growing up in periods, but I definitely grew up. I never had a period, and growing up actually is a significant topic no matter what area you're talking about, so I'm sure we'll cross over that at some point. I don't have anything specific and source-based at this time.
If you're grown up, it doesn't mean necessarily you're an adult person. Like, you can be childish in your mind and grown up,
True. So then this would work.
For example, there's me. Yeah.
Is there anything else? Any other comments that we have to address before
we have
some other good ones?
Yeah.
I would love to hear your thoughts on death penalty, abortion. Huge topics.
From Nancy and Bishop.
Yeah, Nancy Bishop seems American probably.
Yeah.
Death penalty and abortion. I wouldn't.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't go into too much of that in a quick comment answer. I think that sounds more like a whole show.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I have some friends who had like the latter one, obviously, but
Had an abortion.
Yeah. Hard stuff.
Yeah.
And hard stuff. It's when it's denied. How you?
Is it? What's the situation here in Hungary?
It's like legal,
It's legal
for a certain. I think for a certain amount of time, you know, for
right. From a certain amount of time from conception
what is
to
the word for the little guy?
baby.
Yeah. but the stage. Fetus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think after a few months you're not.
You can't do it.
You're not.
But before that, you can.
Yeah.
Even in a public country.
It's really tough here because they treat you like shit, and
Really?
it's really deep trauma.
Oh, really?
So it's definitely worth maybe a different episode.
For sure. It's to me that's I know that's one of those hot button topics, and in the United States, that's actually a topic that I really truly believe causes people to vote one way or another. That topic is so important to so many
Death
people.
penalty is another way. It's a nice pair of questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I don't think death penalty is as much of a hot button topic right now in the United States, because we pretty much have it. In some states we have it.
Yeah, but
in some states we don't.
people do it on their own with guns randomly in bars nowadays.
I'm not sure that's a death penalty, but yeah.
So
Yeah, we actually still don't have the motivation. I haven't seen in the news there was a shooting in California. I live in California.
don't go home, man.
No, I know. Near Los Angeles, quite a ways away, but about an hour from where I live. But I still haven't seen the motive. Have you seen anything about the motive?
Nope. I just saw that he shot himself at the end.
But we don't know why. We don't know, no motive. Weird. Okay. So both very good topics and something I'd like to talk about in the future. If you have some specific sources or articles, or I like to kind of start a story or a topic with something fact-based and go off there, because otherwise I just think you have the potential to just pile bullshit upon bullshit, and I don't want to necessarily do that.
Yeah.
So is there any other comments that we have to go through? I had George pick the best ones.
Yeah.
George.
It's interesting stuff.
I'm not sure I would qualify this as interesting. Bonnie C. Stewart says, don't mess...
No, the next one, the bullying.
Don't mess with tradition, wimps and commies. I'm assuming that we're the wimps and commies she's talking about. Weakness can be fixed by strong and bullying. It's the nature of making the herd strong. So actually, this is a popular belief right now. We have a president in our country, and I think yours too. Yeah, who is strong and and bullies for sure. Ours definitely bullies all the time.
Yeah, of course. Or it's just not. He's not bullying, but he's like ignoring, and it's like the arrogant.
Yours or ours?
Style. Ours.
Yeah.
And yours too.
Ours is definitely flat out bullying.
Yeah.
He'll basically, if someone disagrees with our President Trump, on a topic, he'll basically find any little negative thing about them and start attacking them about that, so that the conversation gets derailed from what they were criticizing him about.
Ours is a bit different. It's about my favorite topic. It's about the conflict avoiding. Second favorite. Because he's like, there's a question confronted to him. He's avoiding.
No.
Like Merry Christmas.
Interesting.
It was my favorite.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't have anything profound to say at the moment in response to that comment. I'm not of the school of thought that thinks that bullying is the good way to get things done.
Or it's definitely out of date by now.
I mean, we've had some great examples of bullying in the past that didn't turn out so well.
Yeah. Thank you for your comment.
Yeah, of course. Was there anything else that you thought was just...
I think it's good.
Oh, what about some of we had the gay opinion or something?
Yeah.
Somebody with a gay opinion? They were funny. Did you copy him?
Yeah, it's
he says, I'd really like to go to Hungary now, not because they are or aren't racist, but simply because they have gypsies. I wonder if they also have tramps and thieves, referring to the wonderful song by Cher called Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I think they do also have tramps and thieves. So it would be a great place for you to come. It's a great place for you to come anyway, but yes, you can see gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
Definitely.
And he also made a comment, I think, about
the hooking up?
Adam and Eve's... how Eve stopped Adam's from bestiality, I guess, was his comment, which was an interesting take on it. I don't think he took a picture of that one, but...
Oh, shit.
We always appreciate comments. It really doesn't matter if the comment or question is fact-based or legitimate or even something funny. It's fine. We'll put it on there. So...
and we do the research if we say something wrong. You can tell us and we...
Yeah, definitely. We didn't get a lot of that in this episode. We didn't get a lot of correction. We got the one that said...
The Bible stuff?
Yeah, no, we didn't get a lot of people like correcting our facts on this one, but one person said that Hungary is religious.
Oh, yeah, but it's...
And I think it's hard actually to find sources on this. From what I've seen on the internet, that most people in Hungary would identify as Christian, but don't go to church. Yeah. So my definition of religious isn't someone that says, I'm Catholic. It's someone that actually goes.
You spent some time in churches here. You were doing a research of meditation.
And they're empty.
Yeah,
beautiful churches here, actually. There so many.
Yeah.
Mostly Catholic, but actually quite a few Protestant churches here too. I didn't go during the masses. Maybe during the mass on a Sunday. I actually saw, me and my friend went up to the beautiful Matthias Church in Fisherman's Bastion, and there was a mass going on Sunday. Yeah, and there were quite a few people going into the mass, old people, but I mean, the whole city of Hungary, I don't know if we can say that's representative.
You don't have to, sorry interrupt, but you must not pick a strong day. You should pick a weekday, and there isn't any mass.
Right. Well, most of the churches I've gone in, you can go in.
My cheapest virtual, it was the last one.
Wait, I didn't even get it.
Like the opposite of strong is weak, so weekday,
Oh my gosh, wow, he's so much better with words than me. Okay, so the first topic I want to talk to you today about is a really important... Okay, I actually really thought about this topic a bit because I was like, should I include this in the show? Because it's actually can seem kind of funny and kind of like too sexual. But then I thought, well, if I don't include it because I want to seem more formal and more legitimate, it actually goes against my values because I disagree with the idea that society has that anything sexual should be compartmentalized and kept out of civil society. So I'm going to jump in with this possibly, I wouldn't say offensive, but definitely not something that most church groups are talking about right now. And it's pegging.
I'm so wet right now.
Oh my God, don't derail this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, pegging. I want to talk about pegging, and I want your comments about pegging, and I'm going to ask George about pegging. What pegging is, I actually checked a few articles online. It's when a straight man is anally penetrated with the use of a device by his female partner, right?
Exactly.
It's quite talked about right now. Online, I found an article from this year, March 16th, 2018, in Cosmo, about what women think about pegging. So women are talking about it. I found an article, came right up in Esquire, a guide to pegging. Metro, which is a magazine from the UK, talked about how it has become, I don't know if it has simply become more popular or just more talked about, because It was shown in Deadpool. Did you see Deadpool?
Of course.
Yeah.
I think since then it has a peak.
And also a show called Broad City. So it's being talked about, and it's worth being talked about. And some of the comments that come up when you talk about pegging. First of all, traditionally, anal pleasure for straight men has been taboo, right?
Yeah.
Why?
For a really long time, I think. Maybe it has something to do with the homophobia and the religious stuff. Maybe you're not allowed to enter those gates if you're on the straight way to heaven.
Did you say enter those gates?
Yeah.
And you meant that metaphorically, of course.
I meant it either way. Both ways, sorry.
I haven't taken a look at this camera angle, so I'm self-conscious about how I'm just laughing here. But okay, so it's traditionally been taboo for thousands of years. It's been taboo to talk about anything besides missionary position sex, but I think we've lightened up about oral sex. We've lightened up about, obviously, gay people exist.
Yeah.
You know, we can talk about these things, but it's not something you talk about every day of straight men being fucked by their girlfriend.
It's really not. And were there any kind of way to make it happen in the, ancient times?
Right. Oh, so I think I was asking you privately, like, do you think that it's becoming more popular now because we're more liberal and open as a society, or do you think it's literally because we have better technology and we can...
The latter one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So you think that basically it's something that straight men discovered because of the invention of silicone dildos?
I think it has to do something with it. I only can relate on my personal history here.
Okay. I'm allowed to laugh, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a nervous laughter.
You're really nervous. I don't know why. But
he's not nervous at all.
Yeah, it's just true.
I've never been pegged. We don't need it.
Yeah, how would you manage this? Like,
well, you could. It would be like there would be one below.
Like a double.
It would
like
be double, but
barrel.
only one hole. You go
laser
back
barrel shotgun.
It just seems a lot of work without increasing the pleasure a lot. But for straight men, this access to a new form of pleasure must be different.
And we have to thank to the lesbians because of the
Right.
double-ended dildo.
Right. I've always kind of believed that gays and lesbians make everybody's lives better in a way.
I think it's true.
It's true because we get people
true.
we get people thinking outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
So you thank lesbians.
I thank lesbians here and now those to make the double-ended dildo invented.
Because when you have a double dildo, you mean one goes in the woman's vagina and one goes in you.
Yeah.
And you like that better.
Yeah, it's more funny and it's double
I'm so sorry.
pleasure.
I'm still a little bit boy from a small town in Michigan when it comes to these topics, so that's why I'm laughing.
I never understood the one-side dildos of how maybe in a lesbian lovemaking how the penetrating person can have pleasure.
Because isn't there just the friction on the clitoris?
Yeah, it's just some rubbing stuff, so it's not a penetrating
lot.
for her.
But with women, penetration isn't the biggest deal anyway, right? It's the stimulation of the clitoris. So maybe
I cannot answer this question. I think both counts. If I make love to a woman, I like to treat every part of her, like not just the clitoris. And so
you want to go all the way in,
explore the stuff, and So I think for my personal experience, it was the best with this kind of technology. So it was hilarious because I did it with my ex-girlfriend, and she also almost came at the beginning of the session.
She almost came at the beginning as she was pegging you.
As she was plugging the stuff inside her, you know.
Wow.
And
really?
I was
just from like the psychological high of what she was about to do?
because it was so good to her. The material and the hardness and stuff, and I was a little bit embarrassed and surprised, like I cannot make you this.
But wait, let me stop you. What was
so fast?
right. But what was so good for her? Was it the actual physical sensation, or was it the psychology?
No, the physical stuff.
Oh,
so it was for me as a man, it was a little bit okay.
But this is talked about a lot.
I'm good for something else too.
But supposedly women are much more likely to have orgasm with a vibrator than from sex by a man.
I cannot relate.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
If you reach a point of she has to use something, I think there's a problem in my opinion. If you definitely need the toys, there's something missing.
Really? Because I've read that's nothing for the man to be ashamed about. That the way the woman's anatomy is made, it's actually more likely that she's gonna get.
Yeah, or maybe her man is not capable anatomically, if it's right, to reach her spots.
Right.
Like a device could. So.
It's true, because the device can have all sorts of little spots and
and
protrusions.
Japanese.
Right. They're very
stuff,
creative.
Yeah, like. Octopusy.
So, okay, let me ask you a little bit about the inversion of the role and how much of a factor that plays. Does that make it more exciting? Does that make you a better lover?
It's just
And when I say the inversion of the role, I mean obviously when a straight male is being penetrated by a dildo which is strapped onto his female partner, it's obviously the exact opposite in most ways of what she's experiencing.
Yep.
So in what ways does this change you, and in what ways does this possibly benefit the experience or the relationship? Or does it not?
It's for me, the feeling was skyrocketing. It was hilarious at the same time because I like to make jokes, like dress up like a girl sometimes.
You like to dress up like a girl sometimes?
Yeah, if there's a funny video for it maybe or something.
A funny video?
Yeah, there's some video clips where I play a role of a hooker. I'm just in the background,
Okay.
And I was struggling with the high heels, So I do everything to make myself seem gay, but I'm really a straight guy, so I'm just like doing this kind of funny stuff.
Right.
We change kisses in the pub with my friends sometimes to make people uncomfortable.
Right.
So the answer is for me, it's like meeting my woman self immediately in this situation, and I'm receiving stuff, and it's so funny for me because this became reality, which I was used to make fun of, And,
you used to make fun of it?
Yeah, yes, I'm
oh,
a
right.
bitch,
You used to joke about it.
Who's my daddy? Yeah. I mean, joking about it.
And was this particular? Do you think a lot of it had to do with this particular partner? Was she particularly assertive or open-minded?
Yeah, definitely.
So that was
her idea.
That's her idea. Yeah.
Because we reached the point we both love anal, but she wasn't about to give herself to me,
right?
Easily.
She was trading it off, right?
Yeah. You go first.
You go first. But what made you be okay? Was it that you actually had the curiosity, or was it that you wanted her so badly you would do anything for her? Both.
And she was able to open my mind in so many levels I couldn't tell you, in a day.
Really? So how was the orgasm?
It was I wasn't able to reach this in this way.
Okay. Even masturbating yourself?
So yeah, because we switched the roles back.
Oh, you switched. Okay.
So I think I have to develop some kind of stuff here because in the prostate massage stuff, I'm also could be able to reach the orgasm level.
Right.
But I also need her mouth for it. So it's
I see.
I'm not able to about the anal penetration. It doesn't give me the whole pleasure stuff. So it's just a big part.
So you didn't have any orgasm during the time she was pegging you?
Yeah, but it was so undescribable.
Just the feeling in general.
Yeah, and the view.
And the view.
It
was from behind?
Yeah.
I don't know why I was picturing it.
Yeah, it was the baby position, do me, and when you clean the baby. And there was a doggy stuff. Yeah, it was funny and fantastic at the same time.
Wow. And okay, so this is something everyone's gonna want to know about: pain.
Yeah.
Was there pain?
Pain is real.
But I mean, I think most straight guys out there are maybe not most, but a lot are scared of the pain.
You have to be really, really patient, and she has to be really patient. So it's so beautiful that she was able to do it so gently and slowly that I could give it back to her later when we switched the roles, and
wow.
And I made anal love to her. So
right.
It was the same kind of deep connection between us. So I think you need that. I think it's not a one night stand stuff, but maybe someone is able.
Okay. So you think it's something that happens more in the context of a very intimate ongoing relationship in which two people trust each other a lot.
Definitely, I think. There are some people who also does anal after a certain level of connection.
Right.
So it's psychologically a really mind-opening stuff.
Wow. Well, I was actually not necessarily expecting him to be so open about that, but there you go. Very interesting, very interesting and vulnerable comments about that. I would like to hear some comments about people who have experienced this process of pegging. Obviously, gay people can't say that, so maybe women, but
Maybe bi people.
maybe bisexual people, yeah. But from straight couples, would be interesting to hear your comments on that. Anything else? I don't know what else to say about it because I don't know how to measure. We can see it appearing in popular media, we can see it being talked about, but how do we really measure how much more this is being done and what effect this is having? It's very difficult.
None of my friends have done it.
Okay.
They just only experienced the fingering.
Yeah. Which they like.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a good
It's
start.
a step.
It's a good start.
All right, we'll move on to a political topic in just a moment. Oh my gosh. I was going to say, I really hope the camera was on for that. Yes, it was.